Good morning, everybody. We are back. It is the right side of campus. We're live Tuesday, February 6th, 2018. I'm your host, the big man on campus, here back with you live as we pick up the pieces after the football season ends. We look forward to next season. Kind of put a bow on the NFL season with the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Talk college hoops a little bit later. Lot to do today. Welcome in, Donnie Rightside. How you doing?
Feels good, man. Had a long day, Jeff, yesterday of travel, checking out of the hotel at 9 a.m. in Hocko Beach. By the time I walked in my front door, just after midnight last night. But I got to say, Jeff, the travel was easy yesterday. Put my mind at ease. Going to the airport, Jeff, in San Jose yesterday. Load up the plane. A little bit, I was late on my own, because I got the airport 2 hours early. Wandering around, getting something to eat. I get in, plane's just about full, Jeff. So I get in and take my seat, and the flight attendant at the front gets on the loudspeaker, because I had all my Eagles gear on, that I have 2 free beers for the plane ride home, and got an ovation from the people on the plane itself, Jeff. Winners, champions.
How about that? Nice story. Donnie writes, "I get some free beer for being an Eagles fan." Great.
Yeah.
How about that? And Donnie, we start right off with the morning headlines. We thank everyone for joining us today. Hope you enjoy the show. Hit the like button. Retweet the show. Make sure you're using all the resources SBR has to offer. There's a lot to take a look at. I mean, you can do all sorts of things. SBRpicks.com. Make sure you're checking everything out and using everything to your advantage here at Sportsbook Review. Donnie, morning headlines. Let's get into it here. We had a show yesterday. It was a short show. It wasn't a lot it's just me. So just handled like talking, about the game and everything. But we'll really break it down. Eagles on top of the world. Yes, today they are. The week they are. The Eagles are Super Bowl champions. And, we went through a lot this year. It's been a long season. It's been some downs, a lot of ups. But the Eagles are the Super Bowl champions. And it feels good to say that. You've been on the earth a little longer than me, but we've all functioned with the Eagles not being, a champion of anything. I mean, they've won the NFC several times, but just was never enough. They finally get over the hump with Nick Foles, of all people. Just an amazing season that I'm happy to put a bow on and say, I was listening to WIP last night and they had a little drop and it said, "Home of the world champion, Philadelphia Eagles." And I stopped for a second. I said, "Wow, that's pretty amazing to hear that." We're going to hear that for a long time, and it feels good to hear that, Donnie. We could take all the Ophers, we could take all the Cowboys and the Giants and the Redskins and all those people and say, "F off, we've won a Super Bowl." Donnie, talk to me. How were you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just been great. And you know what the best part about it, Jeff, is, we'll get to the, the Betcast recap in just a few moments, how that all went down. But just the outpouring of support, Jeff, because me and you are here just about every day, sometimes multiple videos a day, and always accessible on Twitter. And what's the best part of what the realness is out there of how me and you wear everything on our sleeve? Week to week we watch. We are fans of the Philadelphia Eagles. We do have to be objective, in the sports that we bet and do all that stuff with, because money is money. But that we both love the Philadelphia Eagles and how much it meant to us, family-wide, city-wide, statewide, whoever, Eagles fans all over the world, family first in that instance. When you're taking a look at that win, Jeff, and I know, without even talking to you, the same thing happened. My DMs and emails exploded after the game with listeners, with family members, people just reaching out, Jeff, that I've never even spoke to through Twitter or even through the show itself, just congratulating, saying, because they know how much it actually meant to us there. I'm 40 years old. There's been 52 Super Bowls up till the game, or 51 Super Bowls. This was the 52nd. We had none of them there. And people don't understand the struggle and the exchange that we take, because football is our passion in Philadelphia. We love the Flyers. We love the Sixers. We love the Phillies. But this is an Eagles town first and foremost, and have decades upon decades upon decades upon decades of other teams winning Super Bowl trophies. Not the Seattle Seahawks, Jeff. Not the Denver Broncos. We're talking about the Giants. We're talking about the Washington Redskins and Dallas. We've heard this growing up our entire life. You didn't win a Super Bowl. You don't have any rings our entire life. And how much that means to us to grab that brass ring and no longer can hear that we are world champions of football. But again, you're not going to know the meaning unless you live here and know how much it actually means. It's damn near family football in that order in the city of Philadelphia. And to share it together was just awesome, Jeff. And I know you
You
felt
know,
the same way.
Donnie, I actually I do feel that way, and people, I know people on here, and I know people in general, they don't get what we have here. They don't get what we are as fans, and I bring this up because when I was the other night, it was about, I don't know, it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was on Argon Avenue, and I was walking to one of my boys' house. He lives down on near Argon Avenue, and these kids, these two guys, they had a camera, and I said to them, what are you filming?" They said, "We're filming a documentary on Eagle fans." And they're like, "You want to talk to us?" I said, "Yeah, I'll talk to you." And they asked me, they said, "What does it mean to be an Eagles fan? Like, why is this fan base the way they are?" And I thought back to like when I was a kid, and I thought, every Sunday I watched the Eagles. Every Sunday, every night they were on, we would sit around, and it was a whole day. You would have food all day. You go to church, you go to mass, you come home, you eat, you watch the game, you eat again. If it's a 4 o'clock game, you watch the other games, and it was every day, and it was like a religion. It was like going to church. It was like for those 3 hours, the team was all that matters. And I likened it to these guys in Europe, these English guys, whoever they are, and they literally live for the soccer team they root for, and that's how we are. And when we have something like that happen, it means everything to us. It was the best night of my life. You know, I don't know how to explain that. I've never seen it happen. I've never dealt with it. You've never dealt with it. None of us have ever dealt with it. But for us, it's like a religion. It's like our livelihood. It's a passion. It's everything to us. So winning is important for us, and we're
No,
able
it,
to
it
say
it was
we're
just
the champ.
tremendous. It was tremendous. And I know I got a lot of slack even from, my family, being all around, and going down to Costa Rica. Because again, I do have a job and I'd like to put on a show and how much it meant to me. But the fact that, we'll talk a little bit about the betcast itself now, flying down. But I've been down there, to IFBC, to Costa Rica, and it's just first class. And what I mean by first class, a sportsbook review, almost like that second family to me. From the moment you get there, they knew and understood how big this game was for me. They let me be me during that entire betcast. Here, wireless mic right here. Juan Ma was behind there. Cut the mic whenever you need a break. Take a walk around. Don't worry. The kitchen's in there. You want to watch the game in there, it's fine. You want to watch it on the deck, you can do whatever you want to do in that game. And it was great to see the raw emotion, because if you watched it on there, there's no, like, and I wear it on there's no bigger Eagles fan than me, and how much it really means to me and how hard it was, because Jeff knows, and so do the people at SBR, all during the season. I wanted no part of being on camera during the Eagles game because I'm a madman and I take it that seriously. Now ramp that up, Jeff, by 1,000 notches down there. And it was on camera, and you could go back and watch it to see it's real, and it happened right in real time. Like your wildest dreams come true. And I know it sounds cliche and corny, and Donnie, you're 40 years old, but it really meant that much. You can't fake that betcast that we were on. Pete was down there, Jimmy was down there. Obviously, Gabe came down. All the people at SBR, everybody was there. Whatever we wanted, first class, 5-star hotel room, or I should say condo. 4 bedrooms, whatever was 3 bedrooms. Everybody had their own bathroom, 2 levels, the deck out there. You saw the hot tub that I jumped in at the end. The beach was down below. The weather was fantastic. The sunsets were amazing. The beer, the liquor, everything was there. All I needed was that Eagles win to culminate that trip, and it all happened. And Jeff knows we're big on karma. I talked to Jeff before the game. I made sure to text him and call him like, brother, I love you. Let's get this one. And the text flowing in from my dad, from my mom, from my brothers, from my sister who were at the football game. Everybody was on board. And I just said, why not us this time around? Why not just one more time? Everything happens for a reason. I was supposed to be in Costa Rica. My pops was supposed to be at another party. My mother was supposed to be at another party. My sister was in Minneapolis for this one. Jeff, you were down there on Broad Street. We were there for a reason. It was destined to happen, man.
Yeah, and like I said, we've had ups and downs. When Carson Wentz went down, I don't think there was any fan that said, I think we all maybe in the back of our heads, maybe there's a chance Nick Foles could do it, but Nick Foles didn't even initially look great, and the whole Jeff Haas, Doug Williams thing said, and it's like, well, I can see it, but I mean, look at Nick. I mean, he didn't play well against Oakland, but then you look at it, and you say to yourself, It was really only Oakland. He just didn't play well that game. I mean, it was bitterly cold. It was Christmas. He didn't play well that game, but he still found a way to win. And look, we all doubted him. I doubted him. I mean, I don't think anyone didn't doubt him, but it was a beautiful thing to see. We wonder about the Eagles' future. I've talked about it, on here. Where does Nick Foles go from here? Listen, I think you obviously have to, finish, the parades and all that stuff, and they'll get to that. I just think at some point it's going to be a Nick Foles thing. Is Nick Foles, does he want to be a starter? Does he want to go and come back with a team that gave him a shot, gave him an opportunity, and he was able to win a Super Bowl? He is getting older. I mean, I know he's not too old, but does he really want to go and try to be the guy? He's got a good situation here. Carson Wentz might not be healthy initially anyway. We'll see what happens. Parade will set records. I agree. You look when the Phillies won, I think there were about 2 million people there. I think you could double that here. I don't think getting into the city, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to have to
Yeah.
come the night before, and
Yeah.
stay down in South Philly. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be a day where the schools are closed. Everything's going to be closed. It's like, Donnie, if you remember back in like that show, that movie Friday Night Lights. You remember like when
Mhm.
they would go to a game and everything was closed. Like you would go into the
Yes.
town
Yep.
and like
Gone to the
everything was
game. Yep.
closed.
In the window. Yep.
Yeah,
Painted in the window. Gone to the game.
that,
Closed. Yep.
and that's what Thursday will be. There will be nothing open. Every person in the city of Philadelphia will the crime will be at its lowest in the history of the city during those 6 hours that parade's going on, because even the shooters, even the drug dealers, even the bad people, they'll be at the parade too because they're all
They're
Eagle
all Eagles
fans.
fans. Yes.
Uh, and it'll be a beautiful thing to see. It'll be one of those things where, hey, you know, maybe down the road the Eagles win again, but right now this is the only time they've done it, and we'll put a bow on it, and just be blessed that it happened to us here. And you guys were all able to see it. We don't document our lives here, but we're on here every day. You see us, you see the emotion we have. You see that. We've been on here all year, Donnie. I mean, since that first game, we've been on here. I know at times, I'm sure I got a little irritating with the Eagles banter. We all got irritating, but you know, we're the last. We're
Yeah,
the
well,
ones that have the
I mean,
last laugh,
but
Donnie.
because the best part is, you heard, and again, it's all fun. It's Don't get us wrong, me and Jeff. It's fun banter because as much as we like to give, we like to take it back as well. With the guys in the chat box and through Twitter because it's fun. That's why sports are fun. We get on there, well, you heard all year long. I mean, even though through 19 games, the Eagles won 16 of them, we didn't beat it. Apparently, we still haven't beaten anybody, Jeff. Whether it be Atlanta, Minnesota, or the Patriots, we still, you probably still get that. Well, you didn't beat anybody all year. You didn't really beat any playoff teams at this point here. But even I remember Jeff in the Rams game. Me and Jeff came on every Sunday night at 7:30 and did a show to lead you up to the Sunday night football game in the betcast. I remember the show that me and Jeff had to come on the air and do with the Rams. We're not going to lie, we didn't want to come on the air, but we have a job to do. Jeff's on the other scene saying, why don't we just make something up and say our internet doesn't work? Why? The Eagles even won that football game. I remember walking upstairs, my wife going, boy, that was an exciting game. How fun was it? And I said, it doesn't matter. Like Wentz just got hurt. We have no shot to go anywhere. It's never our time. We're always cursed as a fan base. And that's what you get from the national media. Wentz is down, which again, you can't fault anybody for that, Jeff, because we all both had the same feeling as well. And it makes it that much more sweeter when you get to the hilltop where you were destined to get there. And then your top guy goes down. Who wins the Super Bowl? Thank the Lord, man.
Cameron Rayfield, Nick Foles can get $20 million a year. Why would he be the backup? First of all, he's under contract for the next year. Second of all, because the Eagles will try to match and deal with whatever contract he has. He's a good backup.
Well, he's under contract.
Again,
isn't he still under contract?
Yeah,
he's signed a 2-year deal.
He's going to make $7 million next year. He has a $3 million bonus, I believe, of some sort. We also have to remember, I mean, he's going to be 30 years old coming up here. I'm not saying he's old, but he's been through plenty of years already. I mean, he's been in the league a while now. Like I said, Carson Wentz probably won't be ready for the season to start.
And why rush him?
Foles,
why even rush him? Yeah.
Right. And Nick Foles isn't a guy that is all about money. If you know anything about Nick Foles, he's not. I don't think he's a guy that if you watch his interview, you see his interview yesterday, Donnie? Did you happen to see that?
Yes, I
I
did.
mean, he's,
Yep.
I don't think he's built with that. I don't know. I agree with you. I think if you have the opportunity to go make a lot of money, you should go do it. But I don't know. The Eagles have some money too. They don't have to take chances. They don't have to go crazy in the draft. I don't know what they're going to do. We'll see.
Yeah,
Um,
he's met, but and we have to keep in mind also with Nick Foles, it's all about a matter of quality of lifestyle. Because if you know Jeff, he comes from money. His family has money. He's already made a
yeah,
ton of bank in the NFL as it is. Now you're going to say this. You say, you know what? I have an MVP trophy in Philadelphia. I have a Super Bowl trophy in Philadelphia. I'm 29. I'm going to turn 30. I have Carson Wentz, who's going to be the starter here for a decade. I can hold a clipboard and make $5 million a year and be a hero here and never. I mean, is that not a lot of money, Jeff, to make an extra 50 million on
yeah.
top of what? A
I
50
got to
million
tell
you
you,
already made?
I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's going to
And,
stay with the
where are you
Eagles.
going? Like where are
Right.
you going, Jeff? Cleveland? Get your ass
And where are
kicked
you
in
going with
Cleveland? Go to
right? And where are
Buffalo
you
in the
going with a
freezing cold? Yeah.
right? And you literally won a Super Bowl in like 5 games. You're a hero here. You'll never have to pay for nothing again. You can live your life out here. You can live your career out here. And you know what he seems like to me, Donnie. Once the season or once his career ends, he's on TV. Doing something. He has a nice little life here. I see him here for a long period of time. I don't think he's going anywhere. He comes from money, like you said. Great point. Um, his father's actually he told a story yesterday about his father. When they were younger, didn't have a ton of money. He was trying to get a restaurant off the ground. Now you look at him, worth a lot of money. Um, you know,
Yeah. Just
Nick
have the
Foles
what
is
does he have?
just
A 7, 8 month old kid, married.
yeah,
He's living the life right now. And again, I like when the questions come up because again, we're sports fans and there's people out there asking questions. What's your future going to be? Dude, let me just enjoy this moment. We'll go from here. But the one thing that's always been great and ingratiated in there is Carson Wentz, as hard as it was for him. This team was a team all the way through with guys pulling for each other. Can you imagine? Like, and I got to put the hater hat on every once in a while, Jeff. For Donovan McNabb, I could see like McNabb going down and actively rooting against Nick Foles and the Eagles because he wasn't going to be the one to win. And there's a reason in Philadelphia that people don't get this as well. Well, Donovan was the best quarterback you ever had, and Andy Reid was the best football coach you ever had. Well, Donovan McNabb never won anything and never won it. Like, is there a reason, Jeff, that you didn't hear a damn thing from McNabb all 2 weeks when every single Eagle that ever played came all the way through, interviews, made it to the Super Bowl, rooting the Eagles on, when McNabb was at home all bitter, that the Eagles were getting it done here. Always got to throw a shot at McNabb, that passive-aggressive punk. Take his jersey down from the rafters, big man.
no, he's a loser. I can't stand him. I always hated him. I always hated Five. I just
Yeah,
scumbag. Uh, But yeah, it looked like a nice time you had down there, Donnie. You were able to
yeah, it was
to
great.
to, to live the lap of luxury, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
While all of us other people were, slaving away, on the corners of Philadelphia, watching the game in the
In the
rain.
cold.
You're yes.
Jeff, is
It
this true,
stopped
by the way?
raining
Is it
though?
true? Did it stop raining when the Eagles won? Is this true?
100% true. It stopped raining
Wow.
in like about 4 minutes left in the game. It was
Okay.
pouring all day, all night. Then 4 minutes to go, it stopped raining. It's totally true. Um, Donnie, we move on. Just
Mhm.
gonna put the bow on the Super Bowl. Kind of move down to the recap here. Weird things that happened during the game. Obviously, one of those was Malcolm Butler, what happened to him. Uh, you saw visibly he was pretty upset during the national anthem. I kind of thought, okay, maybe it's something to do with his personal life. Maybe he's just upset. It was a beautiful thing, and he started crying. I could see it. Maybe Belichick, whatever, and said, "Listen, you obviously can't get a hold of yourself here. We're not going to start you." But then you're starting to think, well, "Where's Malcolm Butler? I don't see him out there." And then as yesterday comes, you find out yesterday that speculation wise, he was involved with some things that he shouldn't be right before the Super Bowl. Malcolm Butler's played his latest game with the Patriots. You won't see him again. Um, the question is, Donnie, would it have mattered? Yeah, I think it probably would have played a bit of a part. One play defensively won this game pretty much. Could he have made that play? Yeah, maybe. I obviously think if you're a New England fan, you would have wanted him in there. Would he have made any difference offensively? No, but he could have made that play on defense to get them up over the hump the way Brandon Graham was able to do, or the way Darren Burnett was able to do. Uh, What do you say about this?
Yeah, it's one of the more baffling things because again, under the Belichickian regime, as I like to call it, you probably could have a murder take place on the team of one of the players, and Belichick wouldn't let any information get out for weeks on who actually was dead in the Patriots locker room. What I mean, we had a different feed. I didn't get to watch the Chris Collinsworth, Al Michaels feed, but the one we were getting, it just showed up in like the second quarter. They showed a picture of him crying. Coach's decision, he's not going to play today. That's massive. That's a starting cornerback, a very good starting quarterback with Super Bowl playing experience. And I believe I saw, Jeff, he started 17 of the 18 games and played like 98% of the snaps. And then it's good because now we can rip Matt Patricia out there with the pencil in his ear going, congratulations, Detroit. You got a defensive genius out there. You're not getting Tom Brady at quarterback. You're not getting Bill Belichick to go with him. You're not getting Josh McDaniel to call your offensive plays. You're getting this buffoon who looks like a bum. Well, you know what? Barstool should put out a picture, Jeff, in a clown shirt, but Patricia as the clown head on that shirt and send his ass to Detroit when he gets off the plane to sign his contract. Because that guy, the same as every other Cleveland Browns, every other New England Patriots assistant coach, Romeo Crennels, the Eric Manginis, the Charlie Weisses, all fall flat on their face. Bill O'Brien, he's won a lot, won 9 games. Congratulations. Unless you bring the single best football player of all time and the single best head coach of all time, those guys are useless out there.
And even with the best coach of all time, even without the best quarterback of all time, what the hell would he be? So we can put that out as well. Malcolm Butler will be on the Browns next year. Listen, Nick Foles is not going to the Browns. Okay, I'm willing to bet whatever you want on that. It's not going to happen. But Malcolm Butler, maybe. The futures of both teams, Donnie. Obviously, the Patriots, you'd assume they'll be back next year, especially if Tom Brady's back, which I don't think he wouldn't be. Do I think they will be? I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. I think a lot of people just assume they'll be back next year. Defensively, they have major trouble. You imagine they'll lose Josh McDaniels. He's probably going to bolt. I don't know. I don't know if it's a lock. The good thing they have working for them is there's not a lot of great teams in that conference. Look, the Bills, okay, not going to happen. Jags, I don't think they're going to win anything. Obviously you have the Steelers. What's their future? Ben continues to get older. They'll be right there. Who knows, though, what their future looks like. Eagles, a little bit better to look forward to.
No, you're right. You look at the Pats' future and you look at both of the teams' futures, Jeff, as you look at the outlook. I mean, back in 2004, right, the Eagles were pretty much in their prime. This was their shot to get it done. But you saw the Patriots on the other side of the field with a much younger Bill Belichick and a much younger Tom Brady. You knew that win or lose there, they're going to be time and time again back into the Super Bowl. Now it's almost like a role reversal where the Eagles are now the team that says the Patriots, we're going to put you out there to pasture. Are they still going to be good next year because they have Brady? But, I mean, let's be real. Once you get to be 40, 41 years old in the NFL, it's not so much that your arm's going to break down. You're not in great shape. Your body just breaks down. And that's going to happen to Tom Brady. They're not the talented Patriots of old. And now you're looking at stuff like Gronkowski now clouded with his future. You saw the report come out last night where he's contemplating because, his business off the field is now bigger than his business on the field and can make just as much money. And he is a physical football player taking, multiple breaks all over his body. Multiple concussions. Does he want to go out there and do it again? I mean, he's been out there, Jeff, world championship, Super Bowl rings. Maybe Tom Brady says, let's give it one more go around. But the end is near. Make no mistake about it, folks. The end is near. And you saw the fractures coming from the Patriots because the smart business move would have been to sign Jimmy Garoppolo like a franchise contract behind Tom Brady and wait it out. Now there's nobody in waiting. Belichick's going to retire. The staff's going to be empty. There's going to be no Tom Brady out there. Get ready because those Jets, Dolphins, Bills backer and fans out there, they're going to want their comeuppance, and it's coming soon for the Patriots, Jeff.
Donnie, I said it all week. This was the last time we would see the dynasty in a game. It's over. Time to pay the piper, New England, and nobody feels bad for you. Nobody's worried about you. Everybody said, we didn't have Malcolm Butler. F off, okay? You win every fucking year. Go fuck yourself. I
like that one too. Like, boy, if they had, somebody else on there, I'd go, yeah. Well, let's take this at no hard feelings. But if we would have played the Patriots with Hoyer at quarterback and you beat us, I would have said, you know what? Wentz going down, or Jordan Hicks going down. Tom Brady went down. We lost Tom Brady. Wentz was better than Tom Brady this year, and we lost him. Imagine the Patriots lost Brady this year. Come on, get out of here.
I thought the Ertz. I'm going to get to this question. I thought the Ertz TD was a gift from God. Well, then you don't really know football too well. What are you talking about? Gift from God? It was a touchdown. Everybody knows
Yeah,
that.
I was having a
The
lot
only
of
one
fun
that
with people on
didn't.
Twitter. Yeah.
The only one that didn't was you and Chris Collinsworth. You were the only ones that didn't think it was a touchdown. Nels, see, Donnie, talk
Yeah,
about
on the
that
bet, like
touchdown.
I broke it down live. I broke it down live on the betcast as it was going on real time motion, exactly what the call should be. Everybody was saying it's going to be incomplete, going to the ground. They just don't know the rule book. You know what I mean? Like they get like when Dez Bryant's play. Dez Bryant was the only one in the world who thought he caught that football. By the letter of the law, Dez Bryant was a clear incomplete. It wasn't even close. Is that the one that had Jesse
Also,
James in Pittsburgh, Jeff? That was a clear letter of the law going to the ground. He lost control. Zach Ertz was a runner when he caught the football on a slant pass, took 4 steps, got contacted by a Patriots player, and crossed the goal line. And it was one of the easier calls to make.
I will say this: the Clement touchdown, I did think should have been overturned. If you notice, he does switch hands and does kind of, you know, I know
No,
that
but you
was a
can
little
do
bit
that as
more.
long as you have possession. It was one of those plays that was called a touchdown, so there was not enough on the evidence to overturn it. But the same thing, Jeff, if that play was called incomplete on the field, they probably would have said there wouldn't have been enough evidence to overturn it. So
Yeah, I don't know. It looked a little bit more questionable to me as far as that one over the Ertz one. But Donnie, we put a bow on the season. We look forward to next. Now we could stop talking about the NFL every week. Donnie, I'm sure you'll shed a tear for this. I can't say I will. I'm kind of done with it. Are you done with the NFL, or would you want another
no,
season?
no, no. Like honestly, we might just change the show to the right side of Broad Street from here on out, and forget about everything else, Jeff. We'll spend the first half of the segment talking about this. Dallas Cowboy fans, like 300 BC was your last Super Bowl trophy. Redskin fans, like my grandmother who's passed away was like 15 years old when the Redskins won their Super Bowl. The Giants, you wanted a little bit there. I was even having fun last night, Jeff. I heard a Steeler fans coming at me. But we have your one little one is cute. 2009. I mean, my kid's 6. She's never seen a Super Bowl from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, get on our level out there. Get on the Eagles level. Look right here. See that trophy right there? Top of it. Like, it doesn't matter. Dallas, like, win one. Like, why don't you guys do something out there? Like, where's your Super Bowl at? Like, it don't count. Like, 1995, like, you're going to go by the size of the ring. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in 95, was their ring, like, this big back then? I mean, come on, man. NFC East, get real. New champion on top. Don't bring me your old-ass, dusty-ass Super Bowls in your trophy case. Show me the one that just got won right here, brother.
Settle down, Donnie. Donnie now talking because the Eagles won.
Yes.
Settle down, Donnie. We're humble people in Philadelphia.
No, we're not. And you're going to hear this all the time. Every time I see another fan out there, I'm like, dude, when's the last time you guys won anything out there? I love it. It's great.
Why can't we diss the Cowboys? They don't win anything, USMC. What do you want us to say? They haven't won a Super Bowl since.
God damn. Jeff, were you even alive when they won the Super Bowl last?
No. I don't think I was. 91? Actually, I was. I was 2 years old.
95. I think 95. Yes, it was whatever. It was like what? It was 95 BC, I guess, when the Cowboys last won their title. Yeah. But even when they have like one, like we have the Super Bowl, they even have like one playoff win. And I mean, come on, Cowboys. I mean,
great
the only problem
here,
is
Donnie.
Jeff. Yeah.
Donnie, I got a good one here. Wow, you Eagle fans are going from humble to arrogant. Not a good look. You're damn right we are. Because we're the fucking champions, baby.
Yeah.
That's what we do. That's what we do. I
mean, yes. Number one. Like, who's the football champion? Like, you're going to have to watch it and see it every time you go to another stadium now. The only problem, Jeff, is here now. The only problem is outside of Dallas. Like, you have, the Dallas Cowboy fans in the Philadelphia area. Keep an eye on them. Don't be surprised if they flip on this hat like they've always been there before. There's no frauder fan base than the Cowboy fans. Don't come on our bandwagon now that we win stuff. Come on, man. And get ready for the ride. Don't hate, Jeff, when these start piling up with Wentz over the next 10 years and you're stuck with Dak Prescott and Dez making $20 million a year and you got Odell Beckham Jr. doing, commercials, not giving a damn about football. It's here to stay, man.
Dude.
This thing right
Cam
here,
Newton in
here to
his
stay.
Cam Newton in his clothes, his duds,
Yeah, yeah,
his
you have a good point by Al Cervic out there, Jeff. Well, just sign Jason Garrett to a lifetime contract. Let's be real, and we'll pound them every single year. And you know what, New York Giants fans and Giants, keep Eli for another 7 years as we drill him into the ground every single year. The only guy that ever gave us problems, Jeff, in the NFC East was who? Kirk Cousins, and he's gone. Oh my God,
right.
doesn't get any better.
How about that? And get on the Wentz wagon, baby. Let's move on. We put a bow in football. We'll see you next year, NFL. College basketball, we
Mhm.
recap what happened over the weekend. Didn't get to this yesterday. Also, a little bit on last night. Donnie, I think it's time if Oklahoma need to panic a little bit. This
Yeah.
team, I mean, Trey Young, I mean, this guy scores, 40 points every game, but they lose. I mean, it's pretty brutal. I mean, no one else seems to ever step up when they need them to. I mean, Trey Young drops 32 last night and they lose the game. This team
No, yeah.
just they can't seem to win these kind of games. The defensively they're poor. Uh, I mean, I'm about done with Oklahoma. I mean, I don't know how else to really say it. I mean, they've lost 3 or 4. Um, what do you say about this team, Donnie? I mean,
Yeah, the point I think I want to make with you, Jeff, is Oklahoma. Like we want to look at Oklahoma going forward. Now we all like the flash story, right? We love Steph Curry hitting 13 3-pointers, but for a while that wasn't working until they were adding on and getting better. The thing with Oklahoma is you have that flash story all season long. Is this one guy, and we've seen it a lot of times, Jeff. Like you need a senior laden team that does it all and puts in the work. Heading down the stretch, I mean, it's troubling for Oklahoma. And get Jeff, me and you talk all the time. Big 12 is a grinder. I mean, you want to talk about a grind every single night. You don't get a night off in the Big 12. But the fact that they're getting beaten a little bit here, I could see like a loss here, pick up 3 wins in conference, maybe another loss. Now they're on that little bit of a slide. And what happens if Trey Young is not on, Jeff? What happens if he gets a little bit banged up, during the tournament there? They have nothing else to rely on.
no, you're totally right. And he takes such a large amount of their shots. He's such a large amount of their offense. I mean, uh, Lon Kruger's really playing with fire here. I mean, it's similar to the way I go back to it, Buddy Hield. I mean, he seems to always have this issue where he is this great player, but they have no one else around him to really step. Even back then, though, at least they had like a Jordan Woodard or someone like that. They don't have that really right now. They've not gotten good enough. You look at even the other night, though. Even with some other contributions, they're still finding ways to lose games. It's concerning to say the least. Lenardi's, they're obviously way in the tournament, but it wouldn't surprise me for them to be a 5 seed and they're one of those 5-12 upsets. I don't know how good this group is. And defensively, even if they do get it kind of going offensively, they still have a major problem getting stops, which has been a concern for them really all year. Um, we also move on. Donnie, I mean, I don't know how much else we could say about UVA. They're a number 1 seed. I don't think they're going to lose the rest of the season. The only concern I think on that schedule would be maybe Notre Dame at the end of the season. If they could get Bonzi Colson back, that's a tough or a basketball game. But keep in mind, it's at home there. They have to navigate always. You got Miami, you got to go there. You got Virginia Tech at home, but I mean, I see no reason to think that this team is going to get stopped up, Donnie. They still haven't allowed more than 67 points in a game this year. Defensively, they're the best I've ever seen. I think they're slated for a number 1 seed as long as they don't slip up too bad. Um, I think this team's good enough to clearly win the whole thing this year.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about that, Jeff, when you take a look and you say, how, because it's all about revving up and getting ready for a conference tournament play, which would be the ACC, and then obviously heading into March Madness. The one thing we can all agree on is when you have a system like UVA works with the pack line defense, Jeff, that system doesn't go anywhere. Like usually defenses don't run cold. Like it's not about like, well, we rely on hitting 70% 3-point field goals. And when you don't do that, you get beat. It's very rare where you play sound defense all year long and then just get lit by somebody the way Virginia plays because it's a slowdown. You don't get that many possessions against Virginia and they clamp down on you. This team's not going anywhere because as we've seen before, Jeff, you're not playing in your home gym. Defense travels in college basketball. You're in uneasy environments, not because of the fans, Jeff, because you might play at the Wells Fargo Center. You haven't played there. Then you're going to go to Jerry World and play a game or Arizona in a dome. It's hard to shoot against those backdrops. Then, Jeff, what do? throw the pack line defense at them on top of it. Watch out for UVA.
Yeah, they're starting to make, they're starting to play really good on the offensive end. I mean, they've been able to get by. They've been able to make shots at the end of games. They're not just that team that they got to stay in the 50s. They could score and get into the 70s now. You're right. I agree. Said it for a long time. Do I think it's possible that Xavier and Villanova both get number one seeds? Yeah, I do. And I think at this point, if I had to make the bracket right now, Xavier would be a number one seed to me. They're third in RPI. Their strength of schedule is very good. They have 4 top 50 wins. They beat Cincinnati. They beat Creighton. They beat Butler. They're going to have another shot at Villanova here coming up. Yeah, I think that's definitely possible. Sure. Um, Villanova, Donnie, even with Phil Booth, losing Phil Booth, they continue to roll. You know, it's hard to step in front of them. I got involved a little bit on Sunday, kind of going against them. I grabbed, who was that? Seton Hall. Seton Hall hung around. They usually hang around, but it's Villanova team, man. The only concern, Donnie, is, it is away from home, the tournament, but hey, they've showed before they can go on the road and win. Jay Wright's the best coach in the country right now, in my opinion.
By the way, Jeff, the Booth injury, like I know that you don't have to release anything in college basketball. Is it looking like he has a chance to come back if they make a run, or is it just like it's a wrap and we've already moved on?
What do you mean?
Like his hand injury, the broken hand. Like, is there a
Yeah.
shot? Like, hey, it's a 6 to 8 week injury. If we make the Sweet 16, he could be back, or they're just saying he's just done. Don't even worry about it.
All I've generally seen is he's out indefinitely. I don't know how long that will be. I'd have to see. I don't know. I mean, it's not an ACL. I mean, I don't think it's a season-ending kind of thing. I don't know. That's a good question. Um, I still think they have a big problem depth-wise on that team. Most of the kids coming in are freshmen. Again, they'll get valuable experience by the end of the season, but that is one concern. They're one team that does have a bit of a depth problem after Phil Booth. One more here. Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's good enough to win the tournament.
Yeah.
I think this is Mick
Yeah.
Cronin's best team. I'll continue to sing the praises of this group. I think they're really good. I think they're a team that long term we need to start to get to know. They're a team with, defensively. I mean, they're second in the country defensively. They've been that good. They're a great rebounding team, very good offensively. They have a couple guys that you can go to late in the game, whether it be Jacob Evans, Kyle Washington, Gary Clark. Kane Broom has even been injured a little bit. The kid from Sacred Heart who came over. They shoot the ball extremely well. 3-point percentages are good. They have some good wins. I mean, they just continue to fly under the radar in the American Conference, Donnie. I think they're going to beat Wichita, and I think they're going to win this AAC. I think they're going to make some real noise.
Dude, here's a point I want to bring up to you here as well. And there's 2 teams in the same type of environment, and it's funny that we have them back to back, Jeff. Like, I don't. It's not even a trick question. If you know what it is though. Nova and Cincinnati. Like, what do they have in common this year that I think is going to help them come tournament time? Can you take a guess?
They both beat Temple.
Yeah, I mean that too. Busted up, both busted up Temple. But the fact that Jeff Cincinnati not playing on their home court this year, Villanova, albeit they play a lot at the Wells Fargo Center. Don't get me wrong. But it's nice to be over at DuPont Pavilion where you have 8,000 people right on top of you, and that's their home court where they practice at. So these teams are extending themselves a little bit, not getting a quote-unquote true home court advantage, and still playing extremely well. I like that added edge there going into the tournament.
Cincy plays solid defense. No, they play absolutely fantastic defense.
Yeah.
They're other than Virginia, the best team in the country defensively. Cincinnati's inconsistent 3-point shooting is their Achilles heel. Well, they shoot 37%. So I mean, I don't know about that. Kyle Honeyset doesn't think they have a good win. Yeah, well, neither does Michigan State. So you guys have something in common there. Kyle, again, you could continue with the whole, prerogative that you think Michigan State's a top 5 team. I don't. I until they do something, until they win something, I'm not interested. Sorry. And if you're Michigan State, who consistently is a high-level blue blood program, and that's your resume, I can't believe in you. Sorry. And no, you can't relate that to Cincinnati. They're different basketball teams. Michigan State doesn't have that any quality win, really. Sorry. UNC doesn't do much for me. They're particularly down this year. Um, you know, sorry. We'll see what happens. But I don't think right now they're a team that is right up there. The only reason they're relevant right now is because there's not a lot of great teams in the country. But Michigan State, I think will everything will catch up with that group. They're very young. They have skated by teams. Luckily, the Big Ten is not very good this year. Donnie, you would agree. I mean, the Big Ten's not good
Yeah,
at all,
yeah.
other than Purdue, really.
No, just
And
all you have to do, Jeff, is look to the team in New Jersey named Rutgers and go pop on the film yesterday of their offense. Pretty good game.
yeah, and I mean, look, I think on a neutral court, I think Cincinnati would beat Michigan State. So, you know, we'll see. I mean, that's why college basketball is great. You have fan bases. You have, I don't really, other than Temple, I don't really have, you know, I mean, Temple's not going to the tournament. I don't think. I mean, maybe after that win the other night, but um, you know, we'll see. It's a long way away, but if I'm looking at Michigan State, I don't know that I would put them up in the top 4 or 5. Donnie, let's go to tonight's games. What do we have on the card?
Yeah, let's get into a little depth, Jeff. I know we always like to leave one off there. I surprise you with the game, so we'll come with that in just a few moments as you see it down there on the tagline. First, let's go right in rotation, Jeff. Why not? Tuesday, usually a decent card here in college basketball. That certainly is the case tonight. 7 o'clock tip-off, 541, 542. That's going to be Tennessee. Guan White will be pretty happy that we're going to cap this game here. First, the Kentucky Wildcats, Jeff. 1,500 tickets have been tracked offshore. 60%, Jeff, of those tickets coming in on the Kentucky Wildcats at home. And here's one of those nice lines that you like to see, Jeff, here. Pinnacle opens up at 2. Chris opens up at 1. That line sitting at 2, 1.5 across the board, depending on where he's shopping at. Over under this one, Jeff, at 141. Over the past couple of years, you really wouldn't get this line with Kentucky at home, only laying about 2, Jeff. Is that a trap line you there? Is Tennessee ripe for that upset down in Rupp Arena tonight?
I think in this game, this Tennessee's another interesting team because they're setting on this kind of embarking on a really tough kind of couple games here. Tennessee's been widely unknown to most college basketball fans. No one has given this team really any credit, but future and the future for this group is bright. I mean, they've had a great season. There's no I think other than Auburn, I don't think there's any really great team in this conference. Tennessee has the ability here to really get some quality wins under their belt. And I got to tell you, I think they get one tonight. Tennessee is really good on the road. They're 8-2 against the number on the road. They've been great defensively all season. Do they have a star player? No, but they have a lot of really good players. Rick Barnes hasn't been past the round of 32 since 07, 08. This might be the team that can get him past it. I think Tennessee's really good. I think they're a team that still there was a little unknown. I want to see how they play against, Alabama in Kentucky against Kentucky. It's a tough place to go play there, but you look at Kentucky this year. They're 9-13 against the number. You look at home, 5-9. You know, they just haven't been consistent enough. The shooting percentages have been awful lately. This team can't make shots. They're only shooting about 40%. Um, they're just too inconsistent. I love Kentucky, and I think when they're on, I think they're as talented as anyone. Problem is, they're just not on very much. They're young. It's hard. It's hard to do what they do every year. And the problem you have this year is, and I relate it to one of the someone I spoke to recently. I forget who it was. They don't have a guy, Donnie, on Kentucky. I don't think they have a guy that can take a game over. They don't have that star. They
Malik
have a lot of
Monk,
good
yeah,
players.
same guys last
Yeah,
year.
they
Yep.
right. They don't have a Malik Monk. They don't have an Aaron Harrison. They don't have a guy like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a problem for them. I wish it would get going because I really like this team. I love some of the players they have. I got to go Tennessee here. Tennessee's a work in progress, though. They need to keep kind of doing their thing. Uh, by the way, Donnie, we'll shout out one of the guys I think is an unsung hero on Tennessee, James Daniel out of Howard. He went to Howard for a couple years. Was one of the leading scorers in the country. Rick Barnes goes out, gets him as a transfer. He's been a big piece to this team. Grant Williams, Schofield, Kevin Bone. It's been a very good team. I like Tennessee. I think they're going to get a win tonight at Rupp.
Well, Jeff, if you like Tennessee tonight, why don't we just keep it in the SECs, keep it moving down? Another 7 o'clock tip tonight, Jeff. 545, 546. Alabama Crimson Tide going to head and play the Mississippi State Bulldogs, Jeff. Not a lot of action so far on this game. Obviously, there are some bigger games, quote unquote, on the card. If you're looking TV wise, about 450 have been tracked offshore. 52% have been placed on the Mississippi State Bulldogs. So we have a nice almost 50-50 split in tickets. They open up, Jeff, as a -3 favorite at home, and looks like they're standing currently right now as a -3 at home. Over under 137. Colin Sexton heading on the road. One would think, Jeff, hey, maybe the more talented team is Alabama. Why are they getting points in this one? Jeff, talk to the people about Mississippi State and why maybe are they going to win this game as a favorite or buckle under the pressure at Alabama?
Yeah, I think this is a put up or shut up game for Alabama. I mean, I think you got to start to see some consistency on the road with them. They're 5-6 straight up on the road. They're just average. They're a great home team, but the problem they've had is at home or on the road they just haven't been consistent enough. And I think this is a good opportunity for them to go on the road and get a win. I know it's only Mississippi State. This Mississippi State team's been really good. I mean, they're 15-1 at home. They're only giving up 63.5 points a game there. I think this would be a knockdown, drag it out type of game. Under looks pretty good, frankly. I think both these teams will kind of stay in the low 60s. I think it'll be a game where it's going to come down probably to the final possession. I think Alabama will find a way to win, though. I think you got to start to get some consistency on the road. If you're going to do it, Mississippi State's not the worst team. They're a team that I think are beatable. They're not a great offensive team. I would look under, frankly. I think 137 is a little too high. I think both these teams will really get after it defensively. They're going to be a game where possessions are important. Comes down to the final one probably. Under 137 looks pretty good.
No, not bad there, Jeff. Surprised that you didn't get to recap this one. I mean, I know you know your stuff as it is anyway, but I always get to pick the third game here, throw it in as a surprise. Let's go Big Ten basketball here, Jeff. A team that always flies under the radar, it seems here. 553, 554 on the rotation. About 1,000 tickets have been tracked, Jeff. And this current team is getting 70% of the current wagers. That's the Nebraska Huskers versus the Minnesota Golden Gophers at Minnesota in this one, Jeff. Line opened up at -1.5 at Pinnacle, Jeff. -1 at Chris, but now showing -3, -120 at Bet Online. There are believers out here in the Golden Gophers. And as I said, 70% of the money on Nebraska, 70% of the tickets, Jeff, on Nebraska, 80% of the money on Nebraska. Line swinging wildly to the hometown team here, Jeff. What gives?
Yeah, I'm on Minnesota here. I see through this little. I see through this little stunt here.
Charade.
Look, does it make any sense? No. I mean, Nebraska has been great, and everyone will tout them. They've been very good. I won't disagree with you. But you look at their road numbers. I mean, they're shooting 39% on the road. I mean, you got a team in Minnesota here that even I know they've had trouble, but they're still really good offensively. This is just really a line play for me. I mean, you mentioned to me that the whole world's on Nebraska, yet the
Mm-hmm.
line's going in Minnesota's favor. That's
Wild.
kind
Yep.
of a
Yep.
yeah, that's kind of a
Telling you.
stone cold, thought there. I would be on if I had to play this on Minnesota, but with the way Nebraska's been covering, who the hell knows? This team's been great against the number. But if you're looking at the number from a point spread perspective, I'd have to go Minnesota here. Doesn't make any sense.
No, it should be an interesting. I like the card overall. They'll be able to dip into it. Didn't have any action yesterday, Jeff. Traveling most of the day. Didn't have any action on Sunday. Just picked it up with the Super Bowl. I struggled a little bit last week after a really hot start in college basketball the week before, but the Super Bowl winner pulled out, had a nice winning week. So tonight we'll be back in action on Tuesday, Jeff. I know you're back in action each and every day. Your play yesterday, I saw you tweeted out. It did go down. Did you have a shot in that game, or what maybe did you miss in that one, Jeff, that you didn't think was going to happen?
Well, for me, it was a play that I would probably bet again. I mean,
Mhm.
NC Central is a team that I thought was the better team. They were at home. They were honoring their coach before the game. And when you have a team like NC Central honoring your coach, having little things like that at a small gym, that goes a long way. They haven't lost at home in over 2 years. They just didn't shoot the ball well, unfortunately. Hampton University is a well-coached team. Buck Joyner does a great job down there. They have guards that are really good. Jermaine Morrow, guys like that you know were able to really bother some of the freshman guards that NC Central had. What are you going to do? I'll take a shot with a team that's won 2 years in a row at home and haven't lost. just is what it is. Do I like Millwall today? Yeah, yeah, but I don't really. I can't be honest to say I looked at FA Cup, dude. I've just a lot of other stuff been on my mind. Donnie, we wrap it up today with a story that I think a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
didn't know
people
about
aren't
this. Yeah, go ahead,
really
tell them.
aware
Go
of,
ahead, tell 'em.
but pretty cool idea here. Supposedly this year, and this is going to happen this year, there will be a 3-on-3 tournament held at the Final Four with $100,000 prize for the winning team. Basically, the key here will be a senior who has exhausted their eligibility and can't play in the Final Four. So basically, you're graduating, you're leaving,
Yeah,
you can play in this
yeah.
3-on-3 tournament, and it's going to be broadcasted. It's going to be on Twitter Live. You can watch it. Basically, pool play will start on March 30th. Games will run from 7 to midnight, and there'll be different teams, and they'll play against each other. I think it's a cool idea. I think it's a good way for, the whole we don't get paid kind of thing. Now you can get paid for your hard work. You can go play in a 3-on-3 tournament. Should be fun to see how the teams um, kind of handle this. And I'm reading kind of the article here. Um, there's a selection committee. There are 19 that will vote on the teams. All 32 conferences will have a team of 4 players. Out of those 4 players, no more than 2 can come from the same team, meaning you can't
Mm.
essentially
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
pick Purdue or whatever if they're out of the Final Four. Each conference will be represented. I think this is a pretty sweet idea, man. I think it's cool. I think it's something that'll be fun. I'm sure they'll find a way that we can bet on this. I love the 3-on-3 thing. I like this idea. I think it's going to be an awesome. I think it's going to be an awesome event.
How many? But by the way, did you say I might have missed it? Did you say how many teams are in this, or how many entries?
There is, yeah, 32 conferences, so there'll be 32 teams.
Oh, one team per conference, is it? Is that what it is?
Yes. Yep.
Oof. Like, how do you fight to get on that? Like, who makes the decision on that? Like, what happens if a couple teams want to get in on that?
I don't know. I don't know how they will handle that. I guess. How will the 100,000 be paid out? Every pool play victory you receive, the team wins $1,000. If you win your quarterfinal game, that's another 1,000. If you win the semifinals, that's another 1,000. Then the winner of the game will get 50,000, meaning the 4 players who walk away with whatever before taxes. Players will have a day on Thursday where they'll learn more about the games and practice. Yeah, I don't know how they'll handle that. That's a good point, Donnie. I'll have to maybe read in a little bit more. Uh, but I guess they'll follow like the rules where you got to go to half court on a rim shot or whatever. Kind of like the 3-on-3 was with the ice cube thing. Um, I mean, but it'll be interesting. I mean, you have a lot of really good players in the mid-major level that will be seniors. And the cool thing is you have to be a senior. So that's pretty cool also.
No, it just seems like a really interesting event there. Now you said it will be televised also.
Twitter Live it'll be on. So it'll be a way to
Yeah,
watch
yeah,
it.
oh, yeah, we'll be watching. And Jeff, and I know you, we'll be about a week out from it, and we're gonna get videos out where Jeff is definitely breaking down this college basketball tournament for some respect. And we're gonna be able to bet on it, big man. So get ready.
Oh, I'll definitely break it down. I think this is an awesome way to really give kids that have worked hard, kids that really care
Something
about this
fun.
game.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
if you're a senior in college, you have my respect. It's almost to me like the greatest honor you can have. If you got through college, you didn't jump, you didn't leave, you love college, you love the team you play for, you love basketball. You probably won't, maybe you'll play at the next level, but um, I think it's awesome. I'm looking forward to it. It definitely will be breaking it down. Other than that, Donnie, we'll wrap it up today. Obviously, thanks to Wanma for producing the show. I'll be on a little bit later with the Bet Buffet. We'll talk more about college basketball. We'll kind of discuss the week that was and look forward to some stuff tonight. Donnie, you what do you got going on?
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna sit back, relax today. Cap the college basketball card as the day goes through. But I just wanted to say, me and the big man out here, we like to have our fun. Again, wearing our heart on our sleeves. It's all fun that we bust balls with the Giants fans and the Redskin fans and the Cowboy fans because they'll bust them right back, Jeff. We're not going anywhere, especially on video, SBR. Next football season, there'll be a lot of good rivalries. But just for, the life completion cycle of a Philadelphia fan. I have a beautiful wife, a healthy kid. Both my parents are still alive, great friends in this business. Me and Jeff would say the same thing every day. Work for a great company in Sportsbook Review. Treated us world class when we went down there. Anything that we needed was always ready and available. And just to share these memories and stuff, being on camera and going back and forth with the live chat box, people tuning in, knowing how much it actually meant to me and Jeff, and to be in the right place at the right time. I can't thank you guys enough. And yeah, come bust my balls. Hey, Dallas Cowboy fans, you got multiple championships. We only have one. That's the fun of sport. That's why Sportsbook Review is here. That's why you guys chime in here. That's why we love to do this. And I know I echo that same sentiment with Jeff. Me and Jeff are really good friends. We don't even know each other that long. Go back a couple of years on Twitter, meeting up, going to games. But, Jeff's like my brother in here. We work every single day together. We fight off camera. We have fun. But when it all boils down to, it's all about family. Sportsbook Review, the big man, everybody in the Twitter community. Thanks for supporting us and the channel and all that you guys do. And I just can't say it enough. What a weekend it was for me. A lot of dreams came true, and I'm glad you guys were able to watch it, cheer us on, or hate us on. It didn't matter at all. It was a fun time, and I thank you guys for that.
As the great Meek Mill would say, Donnie, I see my dreams unfold. Nightmares come true.
Yes.
It was time to marry the game. And I said, yeah, I do.
Yep.
Donnie, one other thing real quick. We got 2 minutes here. Just want to bring one thing up. As you explain the word family, I want to make it
Yeah.
clear. Okay, I've lived in an Italian neighborhood before. Most of the friends that I have are Italian. Kissing on the cheek is totally okay. Nothing wrong with it. I kiss my friends on the cheek. I mean, that's what we do. When I see my father, I kiss him, on the cheek. That's what we do. But kissing your son on the lips is not okay. It's weird. It's not acceptable. Stop with this. In no culture do they do it. Kissing your son on the cheek, on the lips, and doing it for like a little bit, it's weird. Okay, and we need to stop acting like it's not weird. It is. Kissing your kid, there's nothing wrong with that. But like saying like that was kind of short, like that's weird. Like it's really weird. And I don't know how anyone can I don't know how that wasn't a bigger story, honestly. But yeah, it's weird. Stop doing that if you're doing it. It's weird. Everyone have a great night. We appreciate you tuning in. Free Meek Mill. Donnie, Eagles
Yep.
are the champs. We'll be back tomorrow. Join us for the Wild Roundtable. We'll be back tomorrow for the Roundtable. Wednesday morning. Drew Martin, me, Ian Cameron, and Donnie Rightside. Everyone have a great day. We will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.